Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell 'em. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Candis Hickman with us. She's involved in lots of cool things. Host of Becoming Known podcast, creator and host of Becoming Known TV. She's a personal branding coach and just doing lots of great things. And so I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
All righty. And she is currently in Miami, Florida, but originally from Australia. And so lots of neat experiences. And man, I'm excited to share your story with the audience. So let's talk about your story, kind of how you were raised and track your story till now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone. As Chip said, I have a pretty colorful background, and Chip, so I'm so happy that you invited me to come on today. I actually have been in the United States now it's been about 7 years. I originally am from Australia. As you can hear, my dad is from the deep south, though. My dad, when people are always shocked when they hear that, my dad is like 1935, his birth year, born in the deep south, African American man. So he went to Australia many years ago, met my mom, and it was a wrap. Like, he never came back. So a little bit about my story. It's a pretty much a story of reinvention. I was originally an occupational therapist in Australia. I moved to the United States in 2011 after a bit of a whirlwind romance. I was out here in the United States when I met my husband, and 3 months later he was in Australia with a ring. 6 months after that, we were married. I found myself back here, and when I moved here, my credentials didn't transfer, Chip, and I kind of went through this period of time where I had a lot of confusion, and you imagine like a 21-year-old is not really meant to know what they want to do with the rest of their lives, but I had gotten this degree in occupational therapy. I was already working in the field, making $65,000 a year straight out of school, and then came to America, got married, and suddenly I was like a kept wife. And during that time, just had to really reinvent myself. I ended up doing a whole bunch of different things. I had hosted for a local TV show in Chicago briefly. I hosted for a local video magazine, and now led to the current work that I'm doing as a personal branding coach. Because through that experience, I kind of realized that your personality and who you are as an individual, it's marketable.
Yes.
And, through your story and through sharing your story and the lessons that you learn along the way, that sometimes your brand has a greater impact even than a formal business education. And that's kind of where I am right now. Just a little snippet of my story and kind of how I came to be where I am now.
Okay. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
3 things I've accomplished in my life that I'm proud of. Well, the first thing I'm really proud of is that I launched my own business with no formal business training. Now I teach people how to actually create profitable personal brands, so how to get paid to be themselves, how to provide their service and share their story with the world. And I created everything that I've created at this point without going to university for it. And so that's one thing I'm really proud of. The second thing I'm really proud of is I think just the fact that I'm in the United States, period, like I have a lot of friends, and I know that there are a lot of people that have never left their town, have maybe never left their city, and to have moved across the world. And then even the story of kind of how I got to Miami is interesting. Like Chip and I, we had a little powwow before this, and I was telling you how I had felt this call. We were living in Chicago, we've been there for about 6 years, and I just felt like I didn't belong there. Like my tribe wasn't there, and I felt this call back to the ocean. And so we were coming on vacation to Miami, and I was like, said to my husband, I'm not going back. And so I stayed down in Miami. I stayed in a hotel for a week, and I had enough money for the first month of rent, and that was it. And he left and went back to Chicago, and he came down about 8-9 months later. So I'm really proud of that. I think the boldness and just kind of taking risks and throwing myself out there. I'm one of those people that just believes that everything's always working out in my favor. And then the final thing, I think I'm actually really proud of the fact that I felt a call on my life and a purpose, and that I pursued it wholeheartedly, and that now I profit from my passions. I think that is what I'm really proud of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, what is your definition of success?
You know what, I've seen a couple of your interviews, and I've been thinking about this a lot. And I think a lot of the times people can say, oh, my definition of success is happiness, or whatever it might be. I'm just going to go ahead and say the thing that I don't think people don't think they should be heard saying. And that is, I do believe that success is being able to get paid to do work that is our purpose. When we live in a world that is, we're in a marketplace. And when we are a part of a marketplace, and money is a form of currency, it's such an important part of our lives. And so when you can find work, when God has placed this call on your life, and you answer that call, and then you find a way to be able to serve people and actually monetize your passion and the thing that you're called to do, to me, that is what success is.
I like it. And I think it helps you feel that you're in alignment with your assignment when you're doing that, because it's not work. When you do that, you love to do it.
Yeah. And, like I always say, like money supports our happiness. And, sometimes they say, the love of money is the root of all evil. And, I grew up in the church. Actually, my dad's a pastor. So I've every, thought pattern you can imagine when it comes to money and humility, all that type of thing. But I really think that, money is a resource for us to show up more powerfully in the world. And so, that's why I really believe in the power of the resource of money, and how we can actually use that to show up in a greater way, and show up with more impact in the world.
I like it. Well, what do you think it takes to achieve success?
Other people.
Yeah.
I really believe other people. I have developed quite a strong network, particularly in Miami, but even around the world and around the US. Even just with conversations like what we're having right now. And I can truly say, someone even said this to me recently, Candis, your greatest asset is your network and your capacity to connect with people. And I just think, about some of the situations that I've kind of been in recently, some of the feedback that I've had, even the work that I do with the Becoming Known podcast. And I'll sit in these different groups of different people, and they have these podcasts, and they say, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to get guests right now. How do you this is the biggest problem that people have, is how do I get guests right? And I mean, I haven't had my podcast for very long. Like, I only started it actually at the beginning of December. But one of the reasons why was because I said, you know what? I have this huge network of people, incredible relationships. Let me leverage them for the good of the greater community. And so I really believe that other people are so essential for our success. And if we think that we can achieve success in isolation, we literally have an issue. It's probably why we're not successful.
I'm never really I mean, I knew that, as far as, teamwork, because I've been a part of teams and sport, and I know that no success is achieved alone, but, a lot of times when you ask people what it takes, and a lot of times they, determination and grit, all of those things that are interpersonal. But I like that perspective when you look at, when you're open and say other people, because it's so true. I mean, you think about everything that anybody has achieved individually, and it's been because of someone else's help.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I did an interview this morning, Chip, with a gentleman named Rob Mack.
Yeah. Rob, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's awesome.
He's great. And I met Rob at the gym, actually, here in South Beach. And he went back, and for those of you that are listening in and don't know who Rob is the host of Good Morning La La Land, which is in LA. And he was a celebrity love coach and famously single. He's the author of a book called Happiness from the Inside Out. And I had this conversation with Mac. It was a podcast interview this morning. And Rob said to me, Candis, wow, like I really want to support you in what you're doing. How can I actually help you? And I said, you know what, Rob, one day I want to have a talk show. I want the Becoming Known TV, which is a live thing that I do here in Miami. It's a live interview that I do in front of a small audience. We're going to start having an entertainment group covering it from this coming week. And I said, my dream would be for it to be a talk show. He said, you know what, then come out to LA and I want to introduce you to some people, okay? Other people. This is this prime example of like when we think we can do it alone, we totally cannot. Like I could be the funnest, most energetic, the smart, I could be the most beautiful. It doesn't matter. Like I could be all that, but if I don't realize and bring myself to the place of humility without realizing that no amount of determination is going to serve me if I don't lean to other people.
Yeah.
You're never going to get as far as what you might get somewhere. You're never going to get as far as what you could get.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, I truly appreciate you taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Before we get off, if you don't mind telling the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and, show you some love.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you want to connect with me further, come on over to Instagram. It's Candis Hickman. Candis is spelled Candis and Hickman, Hickman. So it's Candis Hickman on Instagram. I would love for you to tune in to the Becoming Known podcast. It's on all of the major podcast providers. You can search Becoming Known with Candis Hickman and it'll pop up. And we also have an actual Facebook group that supports the Becoming Known podcast. It's called Becoming Known Podcast Insiders, and so you can get support and continue the conversation as well there. So there's probably the main places. You can also check me out on my website if you would like to know more information about me or my work. It's just CandisHickman.com. Pretty easy.
Well, there it is. Good stuff. Like I said, doing some great stuff. And so, again, thank you so much. And thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless.
See you later.
Go get it.